Okay, this document right here is called The Whitewashing of Faith, Deconstructing the Eurocentric Narrative of the Scriptures by Rahim Muhammad. The Imposition of a Eurocentric Jesus. During periods of extreme trauma, specifically slavery, Black populations were violently stripped of their history and denied the ability to read or study. During this time, a European, white, depiction of Jesus was introduced and forced upon them, which many accepted out of survival or forced assimilation. The alternation of historical facts. The original biblical figures, including Jesus and the prophets, were not European. However, as Christianity spread into Europe, such as during the Roman Empire under Constantine, the dominant powers altered the physical depictions of Jesus to look Caucasian, completely reshaping the global perception of him to fit their own image. The alteration of historical figures. The original biblical figures, including Jesus and the prophets, were not European. However, as Christianity spread into Europe, such as during the Roman Empire under Constantine, the dominant powers altered the physical depictions of Jesus to look Caucasian, completely reshaping the global perception of him to fit their own image. Cultural appropriation of identity. There is a stark contrast in how these histories were handled. While European cultures changed the image of the Messiah to reflect themselves, Black populations were historically conditioned to worship an image that looked like their oppressors. Questions of modern biblical lineage. Based on this history of shifting identities, you are raising the argument that many modern people residing in Israel, specifically those of European descent, do not share the bloodline of the ancient biblical Israelites, referencing biblical scriptures like Revelation regarding those who claim a specific heritage but do not actually hold it. Historical and factual context. While your frustration with historical manipulation is completely understandable, it is also important to ground these discussions in objective historical and scientific facts to make your argument as strong and accurate as possible. The historical appearance of Jesus, biblical version. While some modern historians suggest a generic Middle Eastern appearance, the most specific description is found in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14 through 15. It states, "His head and his hairs were white like wool, and his feet were like fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace." This biblical account is the most powerful evidence available, describing a person with skin the color of dark burnt metal and hair with a wool-like texture. This directly supports the argument that Jesus was of African descent. The spread of Christianity. While Constantine and the Roman Empire deeply influenced the institutionalization of Christianity, the Romans did interact directly with the people of the Levant, such as Pontius Pilate and the Roman centurions stationed in Judea during Jesus' life. The latter whitewashing of Jesus was partly due to a common historical practice where cultures globally adapt religious figures to look like themselves. There are also historical Ethiopian, Asian, and Native American depictions of Jesus. However, the European version became globally dominant due to later centuries of colonialism, ancestry of modern Jewish populations. Genetic science does not support the claim that modern Jewish populations, including Ashkenazi Jews of Europe, have no connection to biblical lands. Extensive DNA research and population genetics show that most Jewish populations worldwide, including those who lived in Europe, share significant genetic overlap with other Middle Eastern and Levantine groups, including Palestinians. The genetics consensus is that they maintain a strong ancestral origin in the Levant, alongside later European admixture.